Namaste and good morning to all. Today is 11th March, Friday. Please get ready for the morning prayer.
Amaara vicharo sada ho pavitra.
Amaara vicharo sada ho pavitra.
Ho vani amari sada priya satya.
Ho vani amari sada priya satya.
ने कर्मो अमारा हो पुण्य विशुद्ध.
निकर्मो हमारा हो पुण्य विशुद्ध.
प्रभो हो अमारो आजीवन प्रबोध.
प्रभु हो हमारो आजीवन प्रबुद्ध.
अमे तारी शांति नुवाजिंत्र बनिए.
हमें तारी शांति नुवाजिंत्र बनिए.
सदा स्नेह श्रद्धा ने आशा ने वरिए.
सदा स्नेह श्रद्धा ने आशा ने भरिए.
अमारो जीवन हो सदा सत्यनिष्ठ.
हमारो जीवन हो सदा सत्यनिष्ठ.
अमारो कवन हो प्रकाशे प्रतिष्ठा.
हमारो कवन हो प्रकाशे प्रतिष्ठा.
प्रभु सारी सृष्टि नु कल्याण थाए.
प्रभु सारी सृष्टि नु कल्याण थाय.
मळे सुख शांति ने संताप जाय.
मळे सुख शांति ने संताप जाय.
ने सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम नि जीवन मा.
निसत्यं शिवं सुन्दरं नि जीवनमा.
प्रभु सर्व काले त्रिवेणी रचाय.
प्रभु सर्वकाले त्रिवेणी रचाय.
हमारा विचारो सदा हो पवित्र.
हमारा विचारो सदा हो पवित्र.
हो वाणी हमारी सदा प्रिय सत्य.
हो वाणी हमारी सदा प्रिय सत्य.
हो वाणी हमारी सदा प्रिय सत्य.
internationally minded is increasingly important. It helps us to create a peaceful world by accepting various cultures and respecting them. With development in science and technology, it is significant to keep in mind its harmful effects on nature and devising methods to prevent or reduce these effects. Now, Kabir and Hemang from IB2 will present an interview where they talk about the harmful effects of e-waste.
Hello everyone. Today we have a special guest who is going to talk to us about e-waste and the effects of e-waste. So could you tell us about what is e-waste and what do we do with the e-waste?
Electronic waste or e-waste describes discarded electrical or electronic devices, used electronics which are destined for refurbishment, reuse, resale, salvage, recycling through material recovery or disposal are also considered e-waste. Majority of electronics can be recycled and the items within that can be recovered including plastic, steel, aluminium, copper, gold, silver and other precious metals.
Thank you. That made us a clear view upon it. So now please could you tell us, are the cathode ray tubes hazardous waste or not?
Cathode ray tubes consist of lead glass which belongs to hazardous waste. Lead is one kind of metal which is harmful to human health. Hazardous CRT glass that has been treated to meet the applicable land disposal restrictions and no longer exhibits a hazardous waste characteristic may be disposed in a non-hazardous landfill.
So could you tell us about what part of e-waste is being banned from the landfill?
For years, many countries have banned tires, motor oil, batteries and unsafe chemicals from entering municipal solid waste landfill. Once waste is deposited at the landfill, pollution can arise from the percolation of mine water to the porous ground surface. Contamination of groundwater by such leachate renders it to the associated aquifer unreliable for domestic water supply and other uses.
So what happens to the e-waste if it is not recycled through proper channels?
Improper disposal of e-waste can lead to toxins like mercury, lead and cadmium flowing into the groundwater. Groundwater makes its way to streams, ponds and lakes which are sources of water for animals, plants and humans. Contaminated water poses the risk of compromising the food chain and can contribute to numerous health risks including reproductive and developmental problems, cancer and immune system damage.
Why should the e-waste be handled properly? Is it toxic?
The Environmental Protection Agency has stated that e-waste is dangerous when improperly disposed of. Electronic devices are composed of toxic substances and heavy metals, materials such as chromium, cadmium, mercury and many more that can leach into the soil, contaminating the airways and waterways. Yes, it is very much toxic as it releases highly toxic gases of mercury, lead and many more causing severe health effects.
Thank you for giving us detailed answers on effects of e-waste.
E-waste are electronic products that are unwanted, not working or are at the end of their useful life. Some of the most common electronics that we use daily are laptops, mobiles, televisions, etc. The ongoing challenge of how best to dispose of used and unwanted electronics is not a new one and can be dated back to 1970s. But a lot has changed since then in terms of the number of electronics being used and discarded. We now have a presentation by Ansh and Smit.
Hello friends, today we are going to talk about e-waste. So let's talk about what exactly is e-waste. E-waste is basically all the electronic devices used over a long period of time. Those devices that need to be discarded, that is, for example, televisions, mobile phones, laptops, tablets, and etc. Over the years, the yearly amount of e-waste generated is increasing at a quite steady pace. If this problem does not get dealt with soon, it could lead to disastrous results. How does e-waste exactly harm our environment? E-waste is harming our environment in more ways than you thought. For starters, e-waste has a lot of harmful elements such as lithium, mercury, chromium, etc. that would eventually seep into the ground, affecting the soil and potentially even the plants. In addition to that, it also releases radiations to the environment, which would also cause air pollution. the radiation can also affect the health of both humans and animals. So let's talk about one of the causes of e-waste, that is manufacturing. One of the biggest reasons why the levels of e-waste are rising so high and so fast is the fact that manufacturers are increasing their units produced daily. Due to this, there is more consumption of elements such as lead, mercury, and chromium. These are very harmful to the environment. Due to mass production of these demerit goods, there are multiple landfills around the city. This causes more and more pollution as the amount of pollution grows.
Rising population. As day by day the number of humans that reside in this planet increase, the consumption of electronic goods tends to increase. This causes the manufacturing companies to manufacture more of this toxic dermate goods, which leads to increase in pollution. Secondly, as the population increases, new business come into place and more people get employed, which in turn causes more people to afford the polluting products. This cycle is bound to keep on going, and the e-waste is going to increase. Urban sprawl. As the cities start to develop over the time, people are likely to move to the outskirts, which would then lead to development to start taking place there. Due to that, city areas are bound to increase slowly. That would cause many people to migrate from rural areas to urban areas. Due to that, many people would get easier access to technology, and thus urban sprawl is likely to be the big cause in causing the e-waste to take place.
No.
Start.
Thank you, Ansh and Smit. Now Harsham Shah from IB1 will recite a poem which talks about the effects of e-waste.
It starts with a wrapper. It starts with a wrapper, casually dropped in the street. Someone else will pick it up. Why worry about being neat? Next, it's a to-go cup, left on the ground at the park. Littering, a place you enjoy, really isn't smart. Later on, it's a cigarette butt, tossed from a moving car. Without a care where it may land, now isn't that bizarre? From there, the problem escalates, dumping trash in a secluded place and sneaking quickly from the scene without leaving a trace. Littering is a way of polluting, so think about your choices. that you make. The decision to drop just one wrapper could be the first in a chain of mistakes. Thank you.
Now Yashvi from IB2 is going to recite a poem about environment titled Awareness on Our Environment by Sylvia Stutz.
Awareness about our environment by Sylvia Stutz. Broken bottles and charred pieces of glass, wetted up newspapers tossed on the grass, pouring of concrete and tearing of trees. This is the environment that surrounds me. Poisons and insecticides sprayed on our food. Oceans filling with thick oil crude. All sea life destined to a slow, awful doom. These are the things we are to consume. Mills pumping out iron, expelling yellow fumes. Airlines emitting caustic gases from fuels. Weapons of destruction untested at desolate sites. And this is the air that's to sustain life? There has to be something that someone can do, like raise the awareness of those around you. That if we don't heed the problem at hand, it's your life at stake, the destruction of man. Thank you.
Thank you, Yashvi. Now Netri Faldu from IB1 is going to recite a poem titled Last Breath. The poem portrays the carelessness of humanity towards the dying nature.
Hello, I'm Netri from IB1 and today I'm going to present the poem Last Breath. Why must you chop down the trees? What did they ever do to you? Who do you think provides you with oxygen and filters the air we wantonly pollute? Are you really in need of more concrete? Is it essential to have that designer shed? What do you think our planet will look like when all the wildlife is dead? Where will all the birds nest? How will the animals hide from men? If there is nowhere left for them to fly to, nowhere safe from the human hand. You're killing us all with your actions, robbing the beauty from the earth, the forest that teem with magic, the diversity that gives our planet worth. God's blueprint is being shredded. He weeps at destruction being brought. Fields and woodland being slaughtered, his vision of heaven being torn up. So I hope you're happy looking at your garden, now just a slab of wet cement. But once where life danced in green thickets, now it's a place that visits death. Thank you.
Thank you, Netri. Now Visesh from IB2 will recite a poem on e-waste.
You knew me more. You used me so much. You explored all my features. You were proud of using me. You boasted about me to your friends. And at some point of time, I became outdated to you. You lost interest in me. You found someone new and you disposed me as such. But you forgot that I had cadmium, lead, beryllium and many more in me. I would not have caused all this damage to you and your world if you had disposed me properly in any of the electronic waste disposal centers. Make sure you do it the next time so I can be recycled without causing any harm to you and the environment from here now on. Thanking you, e-waste. The children at night, they cry for their loved ones. For their loved ones are ill, for the fumes of hunger are produces. They dream of a world for happiness, joy and imagination. For many memories could be created from this electronic wasteland. Think of the things we could make, planes that fly. Think of the things we could do, metal that talks. Don't kill our home, our family, our hope. For we can do many things with this electronic wasteland. An apple a day keeps a doctor away. Now an old-fashioned but harmful thought. An Apple e-product a day keeps our money away. We are tempted by the e-waste's charming eye. Just say a goodbye. Or when the glitch or error, you'll scream and stir. Not a worry, but hurry. Go and place it in the front of your motor wheel. Bury, get in and start a trip. Stop the car after a minute come and we've got a chip. What a wonderful sight you see. Thank you.
Now Archie Kalavadia from IB1 will bring up some solutions for reduction and prevention of e-waste.
Just as human waste can pollute our oceans and air, e-waste can take over landfills, pollute developing nations, and leach toxic chemicals into the earth. Just as nations have banded together to fight climate change, water pollution, and save endangered organisms, it is critical that they band together to make a difference in the spread of e-waste as well. Minimizing e-waste helps to conserve resources and reduces the amount of energy we take from the earth. With the flood of e-waste growing around the world, recycling alone will not be enough. Designing better products, the right to repair, extended producer responsibility, better recycling, and the goal of a circular economy can help reduce the e-waste. Thank you.
Thank you, Archie. Thank you all for joining us today.